Hello, I'm Richard Bossart. I'm your tax advisor for expatriates or citizens who are living abroad. I'd like to reiterate right from the start that if your gross income from worldwide sources, that's including earned income and passive income like dividends and interest, if that totals somewhere between $5 and $12,000, depending on your tax filing status. And the most common would be, a single person, which you'd have to make more than $12,000, or married filing jointly more than 24,000. But if you exceed those amounts in income, you are obligated to file a U.S. tax return even though you're filing one in the local foreign country where you're residing. Uh, and it's a criminal offense if you don't, and you can be penalized or go to jail. However, the IRS has a great program because there are millions of people out there who make moderate incomes but don't know that they have to file. So the IRS, who has very few agents around the world, are looking for the big fish, but they have a program called Coming In from the Cold. And if you contact them first, and I can help you do that, then you can begin filing. You usually have to file current and previous 2 years of tax returns and your FBAR report. That's your Treasury report for foreign bank account reporting. And then you can start filing from there on without any penalties. The only thing you might have to pay is interest on unpaid taxes those 3 years, but I seldom have any clients who owe any taxes. That's my job, to get you out of paying any U.S. taxes. Now we're talking about the new tax regulations that started in 2018 under President Trump, and they will be applicable in 2019 and going forward. And the great thing is that the main form that we use for excluding foreign earned income is still being used. And the amount of income in 2018 that could be excluded was $103,900 plus some of your housing costs. And that goes up a little bit every year. And the major thing that changed is the form of the, well, let me get back first to the changes that affect expatriates. There are two principal ones. Personal exemptions do not work anymore. You can't use them. On the other hand, the standard deduction, rather than itemizing deductions on Schedule A, the standard deduction is much larger. It's $12,000 for people filing alone or without their wives, or 24,000 standard deduction for couples filing jointly. So the point is here for us, for the expatriates, is that it's a balancing act. You have to see whether you want to include your alien resident spouse. That's a spouse who lives with you. And if it's a resident spouse, that means you are filing jointly with her. Typically, if she has or he has little income, versus filing married separately when your standard deduction is lower. However, you don't have to include the spouse's income if it's quite large. So that's a major consideration. And let's get on to the type of schedules. And let me have a check here. So really what's changed is the Form 1040, which now consists of a 1040 worksheet that you do your work in, and the final short Form 1040. I might mention that when you print out the Form 1040, there are 2 pages to it, but they're so short that you can print them all on one page on your printer. I mention this because when you sign your 1040, it's on the bottom of the first page of the 1040. Now, when you're working with the 1040 worksheet, they have a number of schedules, 1 through 6, that go along with it. For instance, on the 1040 worksheet, you can already take care of Schedule B, which is your interest and dividend income. Then on Schedule 1, that will give the total of your Schedule D if you have any stock sales, and also the Form 2555. On Schedule 3, that's where the Form 1116 goes. That's a direct foreign tax credit form, and that's used when your income is greater than the overseas earned income exclusion of 103,900. And so you can use that for the excess U.S. income tax. And then on Schedule 6, that's important also, which is usually to be included because there is where you put your third-party designee. In other words, if I help you prepare your taxes, you will put my name there. This allows me to call the IRS directly in Philadelphia if there are any questions about your return. And I want to mention too that my fees are usually less than half of what CPA firms charge. So please contact me. You'll see my contacts information below, and ask your questions, or I can make an offer depending on your circumstances to help you do your tax return for 2019. Thank you.